Hey everybody, welcome to Good Movies and Music. My name's AJ. Thanks for watching. So today we're continuing with our countdown of the top 12 albums of 2020. And up to this point, we've had artists from the UK, we've had hip-hop artists, but we haven't had a hip-hop artist from the UK. And that changes today because coming in at number 6, we have Pa Salieu with his mixtape, Send Them To Coventry. Now, I don't know if sending them to Coventry is a good thing or a bad thing. In fact, I really don't know much about this artist or this album at all, but that's been par for the course for this countdown. It's half the reason I decided to do this is because I wanted to introduce myself to new music and listen to albums and artists that I might have otherwise missed. So far so good. We're at number 6. Half the artists so far I'd never heard of, and I've really been enjoying everything I've been listening to. So even albums that I wasn't super in love with, there was still something to take away from them. Every release has had something to offer, and it's just made me appreciate and grow a little bit more as a music fan. So as has been the case with my previous reactions where I didn't know much about the artists, I'm going to do a little bit of research before I dive into the music. So here we have, at number 6 on Metacritic for 2020, Send Them To Coventry. And this is the debut mixtape from the British rapper, and it features guest appearances. Not a lot to go on, but that's okay. I don't want to know too much. I like going to these albums pretty fresh. I like to be pleasantly surprised. It says here, Pa Salieu, born in 97. Wow, that makes me feel old. I know I don't look it. Good genes, but what are you going to do? He only released his debut single in January of last year. Wow, so he is a new artist. You know, when researching some of these past few artists, I've tried not to look at what the genre is in the little box on the side there on Wikipedia, but I couldn't help but notice grime, UK drill, and afro-beats. I actually just recently learned about afro-beats. So I'm a longtime fan of afrobeat, singular, no S at the end, which, you know, was big in the 1970s out of Nigeria. Obviously, the main afrobeat artist, really the legend who pioneered that music was Fela Kuti. I've been a fan of Fela Kuti going on like 15 years at this point. His music is amazing. Every track is like over 10 minutes long. It's, takes, a lot of regional African music and mixes it with funk and soul. And it's just, you can really just lock into a groove and just like lose yourself listening to that music. It's phenomenal. But yeah, I'd seen this video recently on a YouTube channel, and man, I forget what the name of this channel was. I want to say they were affiliated with PBS maybe. But it was this video about Afrobeats, which is a more recent genre, takes a lot of West African music and blends it with more contemporary pop and hip hop and R&B music. But anyway, another genre thing to notice here, it says that grime and UK drill. Man, grime, I forgot about grime. That's a genre that I've been meaning to get into since forever. There was a while back in high school, maybe early college, where I was into some jungle and some drum and bass music. I know grime is sort of related to that genre of music. So yeah, that's one of those genres that I just meant to get into and just never did. So thank you, Wikipedia and Pa Salieu, for the reminder about grime, putting it on the list of music to get into at some point soon. Beyond that, I don't really want to read too much more. Like I said, I like to go into these reactions fresh. I like to just be totally surprised about what I'm about to listen to. Let's just go ahead and jump into this. This is going to be my reaction to Pa Salieu, Send Them To Coventry from 2020. Let's go. Ooh, I like that.
Name is Pa and I'm from Hill Set, boss gun, dodge slugs, got touch, skip death, fuck yo, get money and I don't take threat. Will I die by the sword, only time will tell. How many gliding with S and R?
That's a let's go on a journey type of line to bust out. Will I die by the sword? Let's find out.
Came from the block, you girl don't need you the back up. Then you wanna get high, get drunk and fuck. Happy on my own, I'm an old soul. Slappy on my own, stubborn to the bone. COD shit, you can never know.
I like that line that he said earlier. Happy on my own, I'm an old soul.
I never saw my power, still remain calculated. Not with profits really is the way, nothing really is the pain. But on the highest grade, you got then rise up your block.
Is that the whole track? That was quick as hell. A lot of energy to start off with. It's funny, there was a little synthesizer there at the end. Sounded very 80s, like 80s film score even.
Agitation for them, giving paranoia with their fake energy. She held my whistle when them nerves scream war. Feeling like Zorro with my
This is Joe put down is just refrain like other rappers.
Only money up a blood. You know, money for them. I be a with a spliff in a mouth, talk with a friends. Like I said, if you pint it and squeeze at the speed that they might take a fuck up with them on meter. I saw we do it when we step on the street. You know, money for them. We doing it to wicked and wild live on the ends. They are I'm alright. Still doing my in the front line.
This beat goes a little harder than the Pascal.
Still doing my in the front line. Run up in your bando. Knick-knack, match that work like Rambo. With that white, I feel like Django. Shut down, lock off, now them and them know. Gambian-British, Mr. K. Kunte. Follow my roots, till I rise and take. I they pray for my sins, for my devilish ways. For my money, I made a grand elevate. Would have been on these devilish ways. They wanna take my life, won't stop betting on my life.
You know, is Auto-Tune making a comeback?
Cloud rapping like the
And I feel like in the last 5 years it kind of went away.
For the beef, I ain't sorry.
So I think we're back to the point where hearing Auto-Tune on a track is kind of a novelty again.
They don't know about the block life. Still doing my in the front line. They are I'm alright. Still doing my in the front line.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but some of this music so far seems to have more of like a tropical Caribbean vibe than, you know, what I'd consider an African vibe. But like I said, at the same time, like as much as I'm familiar with, you know, some older African music from the 70s, you know, I don't really know what's going on in terms of contemporary African music. But I feel like one of these MCs referenced Trinidad, or I think he said like Trinidad, you know, and, you know, that's in the Caribbean, South America. At the same time, Pa Salieu, while from the UK, is of Gambian descent. And so I'm wondering, is there a lot of crossover musically or culturally between the Caribbean and West Africa? Or is this just, maybe he's just musically more into that style of music and it's not really a cultural thing, that's just what his taste is? I don't know. Interesting to find out. But yeah, some of this music sounds, you know, more Miami than it does the UK.
Look, I'd make a killer rhythm off of any rhythm. The grind can never stop till I'm wrapped in linen. I did it for my living, now they call me villain. Wait, flip, repeat. I flipped up.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite instrumental so far.
Took a couple L's to repeat. Coming from the belly of the beast. No doubt, I don't see life better than them. Punch him in his nose if it don't make sense. How many times I run, face I disappear. How many times I run, with the money reappear. Like feds I see, they don't wanna see me free. You say G from a fun life.
It's really interesting to follow the lyrical trajectory of MCs as they evolve and, you know, they go through the arc of their career. A lot of the lyrical content of a debut mixtape or a debut album tends to be about just proving yourself, you know, that you belong here, that, you know, nobody can push you around, and, you know, just showing that you have what it takes to be in this game. I will say one thing you don't often hear in a debut hip-hop mixtape is just this reference in the chorus where he says, you know, took a couple L's, still repeat. You know, like you don't often hear that humility right out of the gate of being like, yeah, I've lost, you know, it hasn't been all success, you know, like I've definitely taken some L's, but I'm still here and I'm still, you know, still repeat, you know, coming from the belly of the beast deep in the valley. Yeah, I love that imagery, you know, it's almost a little biblical there. But yeah, that's kind of refreshing lyrically is saying like, yeah, this hasn't been easy. I'm not on top yet, you know, I'm getting there though, you know, like just that kind of like, that drive and that perseverance. I'm took a couple L's, but I'm still here and I'm still going to repeat. All right, let's keep it going. Next track. Track 5 is called Informa. Ooh, reminds me of Snow way back in the day. Informa. I don't know the rest of it. Informa. I lick you boom boom down. I do remember that part. That was way back in the day. That's like probably among my like earliest childhood memories is that song. Whew.
What's your name? King Salieu. Where you from? COV, hashtag city of violence. Spin on me in a passenger, savage, burn up the messenger. Friend that one up, then I'm on to you. One up the informer. Don't need a boost, I can drive in peace. I'm from need a web to survive these streets. Shit gets intense in this violence. Ain't seen me like what man saw in the night. Can tell them I'm plus.
It's a dope flow and a pretty interesting voice. I like that.
Don't rush. If it gets technical, who can I trust? Not even my shit. Jump on a bus. Spin on me in a passenger. Savage. Burn up the messenger. Friend of one up, then I'm onto ya. Burn up the informer. Spin on me in a passenger. Savage. Burn up the messenger. Burn up the informer.
It's interesting how the beat on this sounds sort of muted at times. And it's very like start and stop. It's a very interesting approach. It's like very minimalistic track instrumentally.
More fair, you can get caught in it time. When you talk too much, you expose yourself. Tell me why you insist to be prey. Real recognize real if you know, you know. I'm the realest breed anyone could know. Coulda lost life fleeing for the cops. How many ups? How many ups? How many tread? How many touch? You want the ups? I want money. Finish the knock up and the feeling trap here. Let me relate to. Yeah, they give me the game. Yeah, they give me the game. Never ever can you ever.
This was interesting. Hearing the trap influence on this one for sure.
Yeah, they give me the game. Never ever can you ever relate to. Yeah, we don't know. Look, my name is Pa and I've got a lot of enemies. Niggas want me dead, I wouldn't blame them. Humble, it's only right they envy me. Did the shit the right way, I could never take threats. On God, I would've finished you. Fuck, you think this is bull? Pop out, let me out, do it properly. Go hard for the world, I'm a G. Money day for my family. When my brother died, I swear I lost myself. I blame myself, I never saw who killed AP. Pain turns to anger when I'm reminiscing. Mad most my life, really trying to find a way. Give me the job, you know I'm easily. But me need the money, no paper.
This part's soothing. I'm really vibing on this. So one thing I'm really just kind of starting to notice, a little pattern I'm picking up, because I've heard a little bit of, British hip hop, but not a whole lot. There's a very specific, peculiar flow that a lot of British MCs have that I don't think I really noticed in the States, but it definitely seems to be prevalent in the way that a lot of British MCs flow. It'll be like, this is the first line of the song, stop. And there's like a gap. And now this is the second line of the song, stop. Basically, yeah, it's this very start and stop. Like it feels like a telegram almost. You make your statement and you pause so that statement can sink in. And then you make your next statement and pause so that statement can sink in, which I think has its certain benefits, but at the same time, for me, as just somebody who's not really that well acclimated with it, it does feel a little jarring, But yeah, not a knock on this music, just basically me saying I'm just not used to it, so I'm having to acclimate a little bit. This is a different vibe. This was like an 80s soundtrack.
Aye, get a horse to the river, you can't make it drink. I see the fake in your eyes, you can't make a drink. Real man are active, heart of England, lifestyle active. Seen Ella code everything are active. Stepped in active, show them active, show we are active. When it's that time, I'm coming with my thing. Real set, you know what the fuck it is, we set levels. Rap pebbles on my press specials. Play that part, now it's time to collect medals. Drama or karma, got burners for that shit. Roll around and put him in his boy in a fat split. The way you touch, maybe one
that was a hot verse, I like that. That was good.
Maybe one cuss. So I came from the ghetto, yeah, with the streets fed by hunger. West side man, I active. Hey, money have a like a yes, so they label me a criminal. Run up, move, sound of the gun, go poof. Grab that spinner from Harry, young one did dirt.
I like how that beat came in hard like that.
Swing that power of lightning, did it all with reason. 1 2 minute time in this life I live. One more class. Shit, what did I do?
So like I was saying, a lot of these instrumentals have been really minimalistic. And this one is no exception, but this one's just going a little harder. The beat goes so hard that it's really all you need,
All that talking already, told bro when you bang that whole steady. It's easy to read.
Bring back that kick drum.
Militant, have you ever let down?
There it is.
Grab that grub, now your 8 bags up. I ain't had shit, what did I do? Chapter 1,
No warning. Okay. TT.
What did I do to eat? Chapter 1. What I love about me, I learned how to maneuver in the truth. I'm silent. I don't trust nobody much. You gon' finesse. When the system expected me to feel sorry for myself, Trap showed me how to get paid. I could never go.
Hell of an outro. Goosebumps. There's something about the earnestness and the sincerity in his voice, the way he was just saying that. It's like, I don't trust nobody, you know, it's like, I don't, like, just, and then that last line, the system expected me to feel sorry for myself. Trap showed me how to get paid, now I can never go broke. Man, that's empowering. It's like no one condones violence and no one condones, you know, breaking the law, but at the same time, no one should condone a system that, you know, doesn't work for everybody. What do you do when you don't give people a lot of options, you know? But what I'd like to believe about this spoken word part, kind of the implication, the part that gets left out in the middle, is that, yeah, trap showed him how to get paid, but trap showed him how to hustle, and you can apply that hustle, you can apply that sort of, that perseverance and that motivation, you can apply that to anything else. You know, he can apply that to his musical career, you know, that, you know, he knows how to hustle now, he can hustle his music career, and, you know, he can come up in the music industry.
Mama, don't worry, cause I'm a G. I'm a G, that's why they wish you there for me.
There's a trap beat.
The family rely on me. Strength, salute, pushing power, feel like a release. The system showed me one way, so I took a different route. Another route, a different route, another route.
Yeah, there it is again. You know, he said the system showed me one way, so I took a different route. That's just directly building off of that spoken word outro from the previous track. I like how thematically this mixtape has just shifted in the past few tracks.
Yeah, the music black, skin tone black, the lifestyle black, but the fade that fact. Music black, skin tone black, the lifestyle black, but the fade that fact. I come from warriors, I know my past class, the power of the tribe, oh heart. I am fed up, they treat me like I'm nobody. Tomorrow if I'm dead up, they say I'm in a gang. Pain when I step through, they will never comfy. What the power of the heart, it have blessed them. Black music, black skin tone black, the lifestyle black,
like that
fade that fact.
Sort of flute or, you know, whistling that's going on. It's a really nice touch. Okay, yeah, this is another fun, sort of off-kilter instrumental.
Some got the heart, some behold the spirit. Some do it for the living, most do it for clout. Some do it for the money, the dollar, the pound. Some get it on their own, leech on their own. Why you keep wasting your energy? Never let them draw out the energy. They just want your fall cause they're jealousy. Yeah, protect your energy.
Protect your energy.
Protect the energy.
Love that.
They just want your fall cause they're jealousy.
You don't really hear that message.
Crown on my head, that was bullshit.
It's just music in general. You know, it's not just hip-hop, it's music in general.
Why you keep wasting your energy? Never let them draw out the energy. They just want your fall cause they're jealousy. Protect your energy. Protect your energy. Protect the energy. They just want your fall cause they're jealousy.
Too much time. Gotta run to the light. Protect your energy too, baby.
Why you keep wasting your energy? Never let them draw out the energy. They just want your fall cause they're jealousy. Protect your energy. 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 Protect your energy.
That was a strong ending. Man, what a great track. What a great series of tracks to end that album. It's really interesting, the evolution or arc of this mixtape. How at the start of it, you know, I was saying, you know, it was very much what you would expect from a debut. He was talking about, you know, basically, I'm here, this is who I am, this is how I've proven myself, this is what I've done, you know, and it was very much a lot of that, you know, bravado, a lot of that kind of young, raw, you know, MC energy that you come to expect from a debut. And then as it goes on, you know, the tracks start to get a little more introspective, you know, a little more overtly political, and, you know, just, you almost see him mature over the course of the album, which is a really fascinating approach to structuring it in that way. But yeah, my three favorite tracks on this album, hands down, it was Energy, Black, and TTM. I think just instrumentally, they were just really creative and experimental in ways that some of those earlier tracks weren't. Not to say that there wasn't some experimenting going on in those first few tracks, I just felt like it wasn't landing for me in the same way. I just think those last few tracks were just really strong lyrically and instrumentally. I really liked a lot of the ideas that were happening in the first half of this mixtape, but none of them just quite grabbed me. They never really gelled for me in a way that was transcendent. But that all changed in the last handful of tracks. It just got really strong towards the end there. But yeah, Pa Salieu, definitely somebody to watch. He's going to be around for a while, I feel like. What I do appreciate is that he brings a different vibe, a different energy. And just by the nature of his background, being of Gambian descent in the UK, he's going to have things to say that a lot of other MCs, insights that they're not going to have. It's a good statement, like a good debut statement. It'll be interesting to see where he goes from here. So what are your thoughts on Them To Coventry? And also, who are some other artists like this? I'm just, like I said, this UK hip-hop is just a genre that I'm not that familiar with, especially, anything in the last, 5 or 10 years. As far as UK hip-hop that I've heard recently, I think really the only thing would have been last year, Guy Ritchie released his film The Gentleman. It was actually one of the last films that I got to see in a movie theater before the pandemic hit. Yeah, there was this MC in that film, Bugsy Malone, and he acted in the film, but also did a song for the soundtrack. But yeah, that song is Boxes of Bush was the song. And yeah, that song was fire. I really love that song. I actually looked more into Bugsy Malone, listened to some of his other tracks. Batman was another good one. But yeah, he was really strong. I really appreciated what I heard from him. But other than that, yeah, I'm pretty much, a blank slate when it comes to UK hip hop. So I'd be interested to hear some recommendations of some other MCs to check out from the UK. So yeah, that's going to do it for me for today. Thanks for watching this video. Remember to hit that thumbs up button if you like this video, and if you want to follow along for more album reactions, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications, because that lets you know when I upload a new video. Signing out for today, my name's AJ. This has been Good Movies and Music. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.